Well, hey, thanks for clicking on the video to watch. I thought it was about time that we did a new and simple 3D foundation makeup tutorial. It's probably been just a minute since you watched that original video. Maybe you still catch me on Instagram and on my socials, but I wanted to give you a real-time tutorial just to break down this step-by-step using the new Pilot brush. So let's get started. First step is I'm going to take this domed end of the brush and I'm going to put on my main highlight color, which is like my foundation color. I wiggle the brush in there just a little bit, 2-3 taps, and that's about as much makeup as I'm going to start with. And I'm just going to stipple this anywhere that I have discoloration. I really kind of focus on what I'm going to call my beard area before we put on any other colors. This is the simplest way that I've been able to teach you all makeup application with the 3D foundation, and it's my favorite way to apply that my makeup also. So you see me just stippling, tapping this on, but you also see some areas that I am in a way staying away from. So that's right here under my eyes. It's right here through my forehead, and that's because I'm going to use contour and my brightening highlight to apply color to those areas of my face. One of the ways I like to apply my brightening highlight, which is just my next in line, and this is the new 3D 6 palette. It's limited edition. I know there's a couple of this design left. So I'm going to take this small end of this brush and I'm just going to apply 2 dots, one there to the inner corner of my eye and one to the outer corner of my eye. And I just kind of use what's ever left on my brush just to kind of get right here and through my brows, just kind of for details. Again, I'm going to tap right in here and then right on the outer corner of my eye. Okay, and so I'm not using a lot of color, and the reason why is that I don't want it to look cakey, and under our eyes is generally where we can look the most cakey. So I'm going to just stipple those 2 colors together just by tapping back and forth, and you can still see that I get coverage. Now here's the other thing to note is where you see like this little line right here, right above that, we generally don't have any discoloration, so there's no need to get above that line. So I am just tapping back and forth just to blend those 2 dots together, and then I kind of get right here where I carry a little extra redness right in those little cracks. Okay, now I'm going to take this pointy end of the brush again, and I'm gonna go into my contour color. Notice how I just kind of pinch that, and I'm just gonna put on my contour color just as lines right now because we're gonna blend it all together at once. Now here's where I just take a little bit that's left on my brush just to apply to my nose for nose contour. Okay, and remember for cheek contour, here's the hard part of my face, and right underneath here's the squishy part. So I'm gonna get right on top of that squishy part, and I'm gonna draw a line to this outer corner of my eye. And again, go as dark as you would like. I like to go a little bit darker. I have a lot of people that say my makeup doesn't always look like yours. A couple things, remember, I've been wearing this every day for 6 years, but I also go darker with my contour colors and my cheek colors. So again, here's the hard part of my cheek. Here's the squishy part. I'm gonna get right above that squishy part and just go to the outer corner of my eye. Now here, whatever's left on the brush, I'm gonna just start to go really gently right under my lip. I get right on the top of it and right underneath. That's gonna give me the illusion of a thicker lower lip. Okay, again, just kind of touching up there. Now I'm gonna get really scientific and I'm gonna use my finger to apply my bronzer. And I do this in the shape of swimming goggles. It's the easiest way to apply your bronzer. Now remember, your bronzer is a little bit more warm and a little bit more ashy, or excuse me, orange, in comparison to your contour color, which is to create shadow. So that's generally more ashy. So now I'm gonna take the domed end of my brush and I'm just gonna start to stipple and blend those in. I start at my forehead and I push into my hairline okay? And then I just kind of pull it to the peak in my brow. That's just a basic everyday contour. And I start to blend out that bronzer first. And then I start to stipple here my cheeks. And when I get to my contour, I just touch really lightly to get those to blend together. Really lightly with my brush at an angle to stipple those things out. And you can just see how that has warmed up my whole face. So now let's go back to lip and cheek color. So I'm using the color Nude, and I'm gonna put this on in dots. And I usually do about 3 dots. And I do touch the apple of my cheek, and that's because I like fuller cheeks. If you are somebody who likes a more slimmer look from your makeup, stay right here behind the corner of your eye. But me, I like my full cheeks. Okay, I'm gonna do this in two different ways just to teach you a new technique. If you like kind of that glowy look on your cheek, you can take your illuminator and just fill in between the dots that you put on your face, and that's gonna carry your illuminator throughout and just make it glowy. So I'm gonna stipple that out. And again, I'm tapping the whole time. Okay, and now if you want more color, just tap a little bit on your brush, hit the apples of your cheek, and just add more. Okay, pretty, right? So this side of my face, I'm just gonna stipple out this color. I just go back and forth, and I do kind of give myself a cheek here, put the funny look on my face, and blend that out. Now here's the other way that you can use your highlight colors. Tap a little bit on your finger, and right here's the high point of that cheekbone. Get right on top of that for a little bit of extra glow. That's just gonna help out with the high points of your face. I also like to apply illuminator here, a little bit on my nose and a little bit just down the bridge of my nose. Now that's just a personal preference for me, but different ways that you can use your makeup. And that's it. That is your 3D foundation, just your basic 3D foundation look. Definitely grab this 3D6 palette while they're still there. It's so easy to work with, especially if you have your 4 basic colors and then your bronzer and your illuminator. You can just put it all in one level. And I'm just gonna finish up with my favorite lip gloss from SEINT, which is called Try. It's just enough to add just a natural glow. So I hope that was helpful. I hope you enjoyed this little freshened up kind of quick tutorial. But if you have questions, you're always welcome to ask. If you need another color match or something that's updated, you're welcome to just drop your makeup free selfie in the color match link I included below.